Hey, James here, and if you're interested in learning how to superimpose some really common grooves over a very popular chord sequence, please do check this lesson out all the way to the end. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and I've had a bunch of questions recently about how to start off going about putting grooves over chord sequences. So what I thought I'd do is share one of the lessons from my Absolute Beginners bass course where we go into this subject in a bit of depth. So this is from Module 4 of the Absolute Beginners bass course. You can download the PDF below here so you can get all the notes for that. If you're interested in discovering more about the course, please do go out and check out the Bass Lab Plus. There's a link below there. There's a load of other really cool stuff and a great community of bass players you'll find there. But anyway, let's get on with the lesson where put a bunch of grooves over the classic song Runaway Train by Soul Asylum, and I'll see you on the other end. Catch you later. So guys, welcome to lesson 3 of module 4. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3 grooves that we learnt in the previous lesson, and what we're going to do is put them into a chord sequence. Now I've particularly chosen a song that I've always loved. It's called Runaway Train by Soul Asylum. And in this particular song there's firstly a great chord sequence, but there's also this groove, number 1, in there straight away. So what you can do is you can take this chord sequence, it's an 8-bar chord sequence, and play it over that particular song. So just pull up Spotify or whatever you use and actually try it. It won't work for the verses because there's a slightly different chord sequence going on, but you can try this idea in the real world, and then I'm going to give you the other 2 grooves and you can try that over the track. What you've got is this 8-bar loop just going round and round and round. So you can do the hypnotic thing again. I love that expression, hypnotic, but it's so true. And really kind of start to feel at one with it, and really get comfortable playing these grooves and relating to what the kick drum pattern is doing. So let's talk about the chord sequence first of all. This is an 8-bar chord sequence going round and round. So let me write that out. I'm going to use a black pen now. So let's write out the bars. Like so. And what we start off with is 2 bars of C, like that. Remember, little percentage sign means repeat the previous bar. And then we go to B in the bass, but the chord on above is actually an E minor. So we have this chord E minor over B. I'm going to come back and talk to you about that in just a second when I've written the rest of the chord sequence out. And then we have a standard A minor, like this. Okay, and then we have the G here, like so, for 2 bars. So percentage sign again, G. And that is the sequence that goes round and round on the chorus of this particular song. So let me play it to you. It's a really great little descending kind of bass thing. So it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so. Now I'm just going to talk about the E minor over B. Actually, thinking about it, I did a whole YouTube lesson on it, so I'm going to put a link below this video to the YouTube lesson. So if you're interested in digging into this this more theoretical thing, just to touch more, you can zoom off and have a look at that. But I don't want to sort of labour any music theory at this point, but I always think it's worth pulling in anything relevant to a lesson at the time, because these are the kind of things that when I put that initial YouTube lesson out, I had guys going, I've always wondered what that meant. I've never known for years what these are. And these are what are called slash chords. When we see regular chords like this, the root note, the C, is what we play on the bass. So C, and the rest of the band will be playing a C major chord above that. And you can go away and work out what the construction is of that from other lessons. And then the same goes with A. And as bass players, we always pin down the root. That's our job. We are the foundation of the house, and everybody sits on top of us. But what we have here is this E minor over B going on. And I guess the tricky thing about that is some people will go, well, should I play an E or should I play a B? And they might play one or the other. Categorically, what you need to do is play a B. On a slash chord, or you might hear the term alternate root chord, we always choose the lower one, because what it creates in this situation is this lovely descending chord pattern, which just walks down scale, like so. Okay, but the E minor and the B is directly related to the E minor. It's the fifth of the chord. Don't worry about that too much at the moment if you don't understand it, but slash chords are normally a note related to the rest of the chord, but we just choose this different note to go in the bottom of the chord, and it sounds really, really cool, and it normally has great musical effect for getting these bass lines which just move by scale, which always sounds really cool to our ears ever since the days of Bach and those guys were doing that sort of thing. So be aware of that. That's what a slash chord is if you ever see it again. So let's play this with a tune and get you playing it. I'm going to demonstrate this now with superimposing this groove, number 1, over this chord sequence here. So let's try it and see how we get on. So let's look at groove number 2. So let me play the groove again so you can remember how this sounds. Okay, and so we're going to plug this particular groove over this particular chord sequence. You may remember me saying in previous videos that I believe the bass is kind of a skills-based instrument. So we have grooves and we have chord sequences, and what we do is we pick our knowledge from each of these little areas that we develop and plug all these different ideas into it, and that's what creates us as a bass player. It's a little bit different from playing a piece that's through composed where the music's telling you every single note to play, and this is what we're doing, and that's what I mean by plugging certain things in. And then as your bass playing develops, you may start plugging a few fills into that idea. I love that idea of just plugging things in. Anyway, let's try number 2 over this particular chord sequence. With any of these particular 3 grooves that I'm teaching you, this is just the tip of the iceberg, as I've said to you before. But what we can do, you could actually try this over the original Soul Asylum tune. See what adding that extra note in at the end. It won't clash or anything, it will just make your bass line a little bit busier. But because of what the kick drum pattern it seems to be doing relatively consistently through the whole tune, is these notes here will always, the first 3 will always sound stronger because of that kind of coupling effect when the bass and the kick drum hook up together. Anyway, let's look at number 3 and you can hear what this sounds like. Remember, on this particular track, I've programmed to go to use the ride cymbal instead of using the Okay, we're going to the cymbal over here. Listen to the effect. It's got a slightly longer, washier sound. It's a little less defined, but drummers will use that for rhythmic effect. They might say do the verse with a really tighter sound. Then when they want to sort of kick it up the arse a little bit, they might go over to the ride cymbal to rock out or whatever. It's a different voice, and it's worth being aware of some of these tricks and just some of the techniques that drummers use, because they will have an effect on our bass lines, and we might, if the drummer's playing longer notes here, as a bass player, when we're a little more advanced, we might choose to play longer notes too. So it's worth, a lot of this, I'm not trying to confuse the matter by giving you too much information, but I'm just trying to get you to open your ears and start to appreciate all these other things going on, because if you can get a real handle on the relationship between the bass and the drums, you're absolutely flying. So let's listen to number 3 and we will go from there. Cool, that's the end of the lesson. I just had an idea when I was actually just teaching that there. What we could even do is we could create a 4th version and amalgamate this, so we end up with this idea. So you can just see how these things build. I'm just trying to sort of put some fire into your imagination here of where to take this stuff next. So we can go bom, bum, bum, bum. Okay, so there's loads of stuff. So you could try that with these tracks, you could try that with the solo track. Just take them away, have some real fun, and try and work through the discipline of playing these 3 all exactly as a track. Try and get through all 3 and 4 minutes of the track. It's a real good mental exercise to do that, okay, and get that hypnotic idea going on. Then break free, have a little bit of fun with it too, and see where you can take it. Anyway, that is the end of module 4. Please do go off and check out the bonus video below, the 3 fundamental grooves, because there's some great ideas in there too. So that is an introduction to the world of groove, one of the most important skills, hence why it's in the Absolute Beginners bass course. That's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and I will catch you next time. Cheers for now. So that was from lesson 4 of the Absolute Beginners bass course. Don't forget you can download the PDF from this lesson below. You can also go and check out the whole of the Absolute Beginners bass course at the Bass Lab Plus over at eBassGuitar.com. There's a bunch of other cool stuff which comes with the membership, so please do check that out. If you've enjoyed this lesson, please do give it a like and share on social. Please do comment below and let me know what you thought the most valuable part of the lesson was. I've been James from eBassGuitar, and I will catch you next time. Cheers for now.